If we develop our trust in Allah Azza wa Jal and we rely on Him completely, we will be amazed with the results. And this comes from the sincerity of the heart, that we rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we trust Him, we turn to Him as well. Listen to this narration and make an intention to put our full trust in our Creator, Rabb Azza wa Jal. There was a rich person. He owned a luxury vehicle. He had a nice home, a very successful business. Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him everything that he wanted. One day, he comes home from work, from his business. In the evening, he spends some time with his family, with his children. He has his dinner, his supper, and he attends to some important tasks. He goes to lay on his bed. He tries to sleep, but he ends up tossing and turning. He's just unable to sleep. He's so uneasy, because sleep is also a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He grants this to whom He wills. The rich man thinks to himself, I'm just so uncomfortable. I feel uneasy. Let me go outside. Let me take some fresh air. He goes out. He decides, let me take a drive. He sits in his lovely vehicle. He takes a drive and he goes around the block. And as he's driving, he is passing a masjid. So he makes a U-turn and he thinks, let me go into the masjid. He parks his car, goes inside, makes wudu, enters the main hall, and of course it's dark, it's quiet, there's nobody there. But then he gets a surprise, because he hears a very faint sound. He hears a person crying, and he follows the sound and he observes a very poor person sitting in one corner all alone in the darkness, and this person is crying profusely and making dua. So he overhears the dua that, "Oh Allah Azza wa Jal, my daughter is ill. The doctors say she needs an operation. I am poor, Ya Allah. I have no wealth, I have no money, I cannot afford it, Ya Allah. You are the creator of all means, Ya Allah. Shower your mercy upon me." Observing this, the wealthy person, he moves forward closer to the poor individual, and he says, "Oh man, I just heard your dua, and whatever I have on me, I will give it to you. I will give it to you, and I will give you my business card as well. If you need more, contact me. I will help you, inshallah Azza wa Jal." So he empties his pockets, whatever cash he has on him, he gives it to the poor person. The poor person was not greedy for wealth. He returned the business card to that person, to the rich man, and said, I'm not in need of this. I have somebody that I can go to and ask. So the rich man says and asks that, if you have somebody to go to, what are you doing here? Why don't you go to him and seek your help? Subhanallah Azza wa Jal. The poor person says, I am sitting at the door of the one who has all ability and power to help me, my Rabb Azza wa Jal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this took back the rich man. He became surprised at, subhanallah, look at the yaqeen, look at the trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of this person. Allahu Akbar. You and I, whatever problems and difficulties we are facing in life, turn to Allah Azza wa Jal. Trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Continue making du'as. Continue establishing your salahs. These things will help us here and in the hereafter as well. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.